Now, externally, in the past, the USM was not known as a university that actually published a lot. Now we can say that we have 7 publications in international peer-review academic journals. That means that persons who are studying in places like Australia or places like New York or somewhere in Europe, they can pick up a journal and read and say, oh, there's a university on St. Martin, and they are publishing quality articles that we have to read as our assignments whilst we're in the Ivy League colleges. One of the things that came out last week, and we will make more advertisements on that, is that there's a dictionary of Caribbean and Afro-Latin America, which was edited. The chief editors are Henry Louis Gates of Harvard University and Franklin Knight of the Johns Hopkins University. So these are 2 Ivy League colleges. And guess what? The only place in the Dutch Caribbean that has someone in the editorial board that made sure that the Dutch Caribbean contribution was also in that book was the University of St. Martin. The only university in the entire Caribbean region that is part of the editorial board of the American Ethnologist, which is one of the top journals in the world. It is not the University of the West Indies. It is not the University of Puerto Rico. It is the USM. Anyone can go online and they find the USM together, rubbing shoulders with persons representing Harvard, Yale, the University of Australia. So slowly we are making our mark in the world. And of course we rolled out our commentaries journal with an editorial board that is international. So slowly persons can become proud of this university.
First thing, one of the things I want to say is that I've never seen a society or community as backwards. I've seen a society or community as uninformed. And so one of the things that we have done is step out to make people more informed. I think that whenever you're new in an institution or in an area, people can be a little apprehensive. But I think with the leadership of our president, Francio Guadalupe, who is a native of St. Martin, as well as many members of our board and our faculty, that it was very easy for the community to see that we had started on a new millennium, and they were very receptive to accepting our plight to make it a better community for all. They could actually visit our website at shellusmonline.net, or they can call 554-2437. And all of our programs are listed. There is one other program that we're doing in September that's called Get Ready for the High Season. And that is a conference that has been marketed throughout the Eastern Caribbean that will offer 30+ trainings, in addition to 2 certifications by the American Hotel and Lodging Institute. So when you talk about men and women, this particular conference is open to all, anywhere from 17 and up. And so we encourage men to come as well as women. We have a lot of support from a lot of the major organizations that have done training for us, and we will be rolling out shortly that we'll be doing on-site pre-registration at many of these institutions. I would just like to say, and if I've said this on many shows, is that the university has been around for 25 years. Some individuals see us as not being progressive enough. Others see us as now taking on a new millennium. What I always recommend that people do is they go on the boardwalk and they buy a pair of shades. It is not my choice whether it's expensive or extremely reasonable, but I want them to put on the shades and then take them off and give USM an opportunity to show that we are a different organization and institution than we were before, and to give us an opportunity to see us in the sunlight for where we're moving to and to support their motherland university.
Life is a journey, full of connections. You're in safe hands, even when life starts too soon. You don't have to miss a single beat. When a bad hair day makes you sad, just sharing can bring you joy and more to come. They take the plunge, turn fear into faith, while you capture those beautiful moments. In the game of life, it's family that counts. They'll be there even when you lose. We all have our moments of reflection and hope. And when you feel you're losing everything in life, we're there because there's more to come. When life starts too soon, you don't have to miss a single beat. We're here to connect you and share life. Telcel, when you want more.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Research by the head inspectors. School development plans will be perused as usual, so these will have to be up to date. The annual reports, exam results, school guide, and all other data that the inspectorate receives from the school. School visits will be for 2.5 weeks, depending on the school size, so then the observations will take place. Lesson observations of all teachers, interviews with managers, teachers, care personnel, students, the board, and if possible, parents. Surveys, spot checks, review of, for example, the exams, the tests, the curriculum, and student satisfaction will also take place. These are more recent developments and which are very much needed to be able to get to the involvement of all involved. 4 weeks after the school visit, a draft report will be sent to the board and management. Overall view of good areas, weaker areas, and the scores per card, as well as recommendations, will be discussed with the board and management. Factual mistakes will be corrected, and schools can attach their opinion to the report if they differ in opinion. The final report will be then sent to the board, management, and the minister. If improvements are deemed necessary, the school will get 3 months to devise an improvement plan. This will be discussed and needs to be approved by the inspectorate. Deadlines for completion of this improvement plan will be set. So, future activities. 7 inspection cards for the ASVE will be developed into 16-17. So those are being processed. Inspections will continue to be done in depth, nevertheless, and it will just be made uniform along with the secondary and primary education. Monitoring system for unsubsidized private schools will be developed in 2017. Facility inspections, the process of joint inspections with the Ministry of Romi and VSA, as well as the fire department, will be described in the 2016 and 17. A monitoring tool for the performance of school boards will also be developed in 2017-18. These are future activities of the inspectorate, and this is to inform the general public that the ministry is actively seeking to do its part in its responsibility for the quality of education. The ministry, from the Department of Education side, is also working on legislation regarding the remuneration of staff working in the educational sector, as well as the higher and tertiary education laws. We are required to put all necessary legislation in place to regulate the educational system on St. Martin. This is to ensure that the quality of education is secured. So far for this year, 2 important steps have already been taken to put legislation in place. The decree on remuneration of the staff working in education has been approved by the Council of Ministers and signed by the Governor on May 6, 2016. This decree codifies the existing policy that has been applied by the school since 2007 and makes it formal by law. It ensures that all staff members working in the educational sector will have the right to equal pay and according to the scale of their function stipulated in the function book for educational personnel. The salary scales of all educational personnel are similar to those that of civil servants, and this decree is to be published in the National Gazette. The start notice for the National Ordinance on Higher and Tertiary Education was also approved by the Council of Ministers, which leads to the starting of the process of drafting the National Ordinance on Higher Education for St. Martin, which has been missing for quite some time. This has government's priority, and with the cooperation of legal affairs, we will be taking the steps to move this legislation forward. Of course, we know it takes a long time, but we will do our utmost to get this done in the shortest possible time so that it can be sent on to the several stakeholders for consultation and research before being sent to the Council of Advice and the Council of Ministers for approval.
Oh my, what an inventory list, and so unnecessary. But wait, your home contents are all insured by Be Sure. That means that you determine the amount you want to insure. No inventory list, no hassle.
Are you Be Sure? Be Sure.
Bob, I can understand why you're parking so carefully. Of course, when you can get 80% discount on your Be Sure car insurance. But that's overdoing it, Bob.
Are you Be Sure? Be Sure.
Yeah!
Here we go! This is freedom, this is life. Happiness is all I'm seeking. Carpe diem, I'm seizing every day, not just the weekend. Here's to all the good times that have come to last. Here's to living in the now.
When you can afford what you crave, life just gets so good.
Alive and I'm feeling good, so good, so good, so good. Hey, I'm gonna live my life, feeling good, so good, real good, so
KFC, so good for everyone.
These are the doors that never close. These are the hands that make a difference. These are the walls that could tell countless stories of helping and healing, of storms weathered, of change and growth, of a place where life begins, where hearts are mended, and where hope grows stronger. For more than a quarter of a century, the physicians, medical professionals, and staff of St. Martin Medical Center have combined advanced medical technology and compassionate care to bring a world of medicine to our friends, neighbors, and visitors to the island of St. Martin we all call home. As proud as we are of what we have accomplished, we believe there is still much work to do to continue a proud tradition of providing everyone in our community with the latest technology, the best medicine, and the most exceptional care. St. Martin Medical Center. celebrating 25 years of serving, caring, healing.
Some weeks ago, we launched the Department of Communication. They launched, in collaboration with the University of St. Martin, the lecture series, The Law Matters to You. Well, we are getting ready to launch, or not to launch, to have actually the second lecture. The Department of Communication, in conjunction with the University of St. Martin, they have begun their plans to organize the second in a series of lectures entitled The Law Matters to You. This time, the focus will be on civil law. The lecture series is aimed at informing and educating the general public of St. Martin in different areas of the law. For this second event, the keynote speaker will be Mistress Meredith Buchhout, civil law notary, who will speak on civil law, specifically in the areas of inheritance, estate, and family law. This event is scheduled again at the University of St. Martin and will be held on Tuesday, July 5th, 2016, and starts at 7 p.m. sharp, and it will be in the room 202. Mrs. Meredith Buchhout will deliver her presentation for about 15 to 20 minutes, followed by a question and answer period. I am calling on everyone and would like to encourage the general public to attend this lecture and take advantage of the opportunity to learn about these specific areas of civil law on St. Martin and ask questions to gain clarity. We too often have people who derive their knowledge of law from television series. They look at movies, and what they see on American television is how they believe it should be. Another thing that we have is that, oftentimes people, particularly because we have immigrants from throughout the world and the Caribbean, where the laws are different. And then you would hear people saying, this is wrong. This can't be right. And it is not a matter now of somebody's judgment. The law is the law. The law in America is different to the law in Brazil, is different to the law in Jamaica, is different to the law in St. Kitts, and is different to the law in St. Martin. Important is that you know the law in the country where you live, you know the law in the country where you are operating. So with the changes in the civil code, people have not even been aware that several things have changed. And one would live in the belief that this is how it should be, or this is how it was when my parents had gotten married, or when my parents were dividing their property. And inheritance law has changed quite a bit, and people still hold on to some of the old beliefs and then find themselves in hot water when the law is applied to them.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
One,
2,
3,
4. This is how common it is to develop a mental illness. 1 out of every 4.
4,
4.
4. But there is hope. Today, most mental illnesses can be managed and treated. Visit your general doctor if you feel concerned about your thoughts and behaviors or have some difficulty dealing with some of life's issues.
If you have been diagnosed and are suffering from a mental illness, keep in mind these 4 points to help you manage your mental health.
1. Get regular checkups with your general doctor.
2. Stay on your treatment plan to prevent relapses.
3. Find a strong support group in your family and friends.
And 4. Never be afraid to ask for help and look out for the warning signs of your illness.
Remember, you are not alone. We are as close as one.
2.
3.
4.
Learn about mental health illness by going to the Mental Health Foundation's website at www.mhf-sxm.com.
Science, you see, has been a part of human civilization from the beginning of time. Significant advances in medicine, astronomy, and mathematics were made in ancient Egypt. They developed geometry as a solution for figuring out how to preserve their farmlands from the flooding by the Nile River. The 3, 4, 5 right triangles and other rules of thumb were used to build very complex structures and architecture in Egypt. The Babylonians documented the movement and the motion of the stars and the sun and the moon on ancient tablets. These scribes later influenced Western calendars, such as the solar year and the lunar month that we still use today. In modern times, science is about understanding the natural world around us. It's about finding empirical evidence through both observation and experiments to explain why things are how they are. They develop methods and processes to study the elements of nature that are of interest to them. Some scientists are theorists, some are experimentalists, and some are technologists. In the book, Just a Theory, The Nature of Science, the author Ben Mutai Ari writes the following: when envisioning how new knowledge is produced by science, one could say that scientists decide on what they are looking for and study it vigorously. Scientists operate in communities. The process for inquiry and the method of scientific advancement include developing scientific theorems, making observations inside a theoretical framework,
developing hypotheses, designing experiments to test out the ideas, conducting analysis of data, thinking creatively, innovatively, and imaginatively about the evidence gathered and the formation of the conclusions. The research of scientists is carefully reviewed by their peers who are experts in their respective field and who issue comments and or suggestions either for publication of that research or rejection of that research. However, even with this extremely rigorous scrutiny and the integrity of a very disciplined process that scientists pride themselves on, there are always detractors who, no matter how much evidence is provided, will still deny reason and logic. In our current times, it is often for political expediency. For example, in the debate on climate change and global warming, some say that there's a natural warming trend for our planet, concluding that there's no threat to our existence and the sustainment of our Earth, and that no actions need to be taken to try and reverse those trends.